if somebody has leprosy, they're to go to the priest and the Levites. If they are found with leprosy, they're separated, they're quarantined away from all of the people. They have to go out of the city crying, unclean, unclean. They have to go to a place separate from everybody else, and they have to wait for that leprosy to clear up. And even once they find that it looks clear, they have to come back to the priest and the Levites. The Levites and the priest have to examine them, check the skin disease, and if it does look like it's clearing up, they have to still be separated for 7 more days to make sure that it completely clears up and that there's no issues. Now, we've had some other lessons on leprosy, and those you can find in the Leviticus series. Again, if you wanted to find those easily, you could go to thewholetruthbiblestudy.com and you could find the Leviticus series. Also, YouTube's playlists are a little bit easier to navigate. Of course, the further we get through the series, the more those playlists are, the more of those playlists that there are, the harder that might become to navigate. So the website's probably still the easiest means to find those. So that's the leprosy side of things. What is this whole remember Miriam? God's telling his people, instructing Moses to tell the people, when you go into the land, if there's a leprosy outbreak, do exactly what the priests tell you. But then he brings up this Miriam thing. He says, remember what God did with Miriam. Well, what happened with Miriam? Miriam was struck with leprosy. She went and presented herself to the priest and the Levites, and even Miriam, a prominent woman in Israel, guess what happened with her? She had to quarantine for 7 days. She had to be separate for 7 days. Why is that important? What's God saying? He's telling the people in Israel, no matter who you are, if there's an outbreak of leprosy, you have to quarantine. You can't help. You can't spread that. You have to think about what it must be like. If you, the person who's contracted leprosy, you must quarantine. You can't say, well, I have a job to do, or I have something that I must do. I can't, excuse me. You can't say, I can't separate myself. No, even Miriam was quarantined. If the priest and Levites tell you to quarantine, then you must quarantine. I can think about when